In this module, you are going to learn where you can find resources and information to learn a new skill. Because of course, if you want to learn a new skill, you need to have resources and ways where you can learn, right? And there are a ton of ways to learn. You can use blogs. There are a ton of blogs on a bunch of topics, and I'm pretty sure there will be a blog in the specific skill you want to learn. You can also find YouTube videos, and blogs and YouTube videos usually are free, right? And then you have books, which cost a little bit more of money, but they are not expensive and they can bring you a lot of knowledge. Then you've got online courses, which some of them can be a little bit more expensive. And then you will have classes and teachers and mentors. And this is probably the more expensive way to learn a specific skill because you are hiring someone. But of course, it also can be the most effective way to learn. If you decided to choose using books, I've got a method to organize my book notes, which is I read a book and I underline the important text. So each time I read something that I think it's important, I underline it. And I use book flags to mark those pages and to mark those pieces of text. So when I finish reading a book, my book is full of book flags, which is something cool because those bookmark flags will help me to then find where the most important pieces of the book are. And after finishing the book, I edit and organize my notes using a software. In this case, I use Evernote to organize my documents and book notes. So each time I finish a book, I grab my book, I open all the pages that have a book flag, and I copy or I simply write a simple resume or a summary of what is in that paragraph, and I write that on my Evernote, on an Evernote file, or you can use a Word file, a document, whatever. And so in the end of the book, after writing everything on my document, I will have a summary of all the book. And this summary is really, really useful because when time passes, you will forget most of the things that you learned in that book. But because you have a short summary in your pocket, if you use Evernote, you can have it in your smartphone. You can just read your own summary, and you will recall most of the information, most of the valuable information. And so that's why I really like to learn through books, because I think it's a great way to learn new information and to learn a new skill. The next way of learning is to ask questions to people who have mastered the skill you want to learn. So if you know someone who have mastered the skill that you want to learn, you can ask them questions. But if you do not know anyone who have mastered that skill, you can go to the internet, which is a great resource. You can go, for example, to Twitter or LinkedIn or Google simply or Facebook and try to find people who have mastered that skill. So then you can ask them questions, and most people are really willing to answer you. If they are not popular enough, like we are not talking about gurus with a ton of following. I'm talking about people that haven't that huge following. So you can contact them, and most of the times they will answer you and they will help you. And you should be specific in some questions and more general in others. So I've got here 3 questions that I think are really, really useful to get a ton of valuable information from those people. And the first question you can ask someone is, what are the biggest mistakes you see people doing when learning a specific skill? It can be whatever you want to. And this question will help you to also avoid those same mistakes that most people do. So this can be really, really useful for you. Another one is, if you could train me, what would you start by teaching? And by asking this question, you will learn a little bit more of their own method and their favorites and more the way they think it is more effective to learn a specific skill. And of course, this also can be really, really useful if you are learning a specific skill. And another question is, how can I learn to, for example, play guitar in the shortest amount of time? And in this question, they will probably answer you with specific techniques and tips to improve on playing guitar much quicker. And they will also probably focus on the really important stuff, because if you want to learn how to play it in the shortest amount of time, you need to exclude some things about playing guitar and focus on the most important things. And here I created examples of specific questions to help you a little bit more with it. And the first question here is how can I learn to play a guitar song in the shortest amount of time? So they will tell you, for example, well, first learn the chords, then learn how to change them really, really quick, then play a rhythm, blah, blah, blah. Another question is, what marketing strategy can I use on Facebook to turn my followers into buyers? And how would you do it? And this how would you do it thing will probably make that person explain exactly to you how they can turn followers into buyers, how they would do it. And this can give you a really specific strategy and plan to turn your own followers into buyers, which is something really, really awesome. Another one is, what are the best free apps or websites to learn Spanish? So if you know someone who's been learning Spanish and is already really good at it, they will probably know apps and softwares that will help you to learn Spanish quicker. And the other question is, what are the essential tools on Photoshop to create a good logo? And here they will tell you the main tools to create a really good logo. And so you won't need to learn all of the tools before, because you can just use some of them and already create a really good logo on it. So you are also saving time with this strategy.